Hello and welcome to Dice Masters United. I'm Spug.
I'm Ben.
I'm James.
And I'm Peter.
Coming up in this episode.
Ben's been on the loose. He'll be reporting back from his trip to the UK Games Expo, which included no small amounts of Dice Masters goodness.
I'll be filling you in on the highs and lows of my gaming adventures and talking about a few non-DM highlights.
And Dice Fight XL is on the way. We'll be running through the format and letting you know what you'll need to do to get involved in the fun.
All that and more in the latest episode of Dice Masters United.
Okay, well, welcome back, everybody. It's good to have you with us. And firstly, an apology from all of us here. We are tardy. We didn't manage to get this episode out on time. We had a few scheduling issues, a bit of illness here and there, and a bit of trouble kind of getting the gang together on the same day. But now we've managed to do it, and it's really good to be with you. And we're going to be reporting back from some stuff that's going on and looking ahead to some Dice Masters excitement that's coming your way next month. We can't wait for Dice Fight XL. But first, James, have you been anywhere recently? Been out? Done much?
Aside from bird watching, and even that has suffered a bit because the weather's gone a bit ropey. It was pouring down the weekend before last, and then the weekend just gone.
No.
The weather forecast said it would pour down, and then it didn't, which is worse.
My days. That is... That's
you
unforgivable.
Make not to birdwatch, and then you realise that you could have gone birdwatch.
And James, are you ever going to get that time back again?
Well, I did use it a little bit to play Dice Master, so it's not. and also to have a day long running argument with my daughter, which was very productive.
Perfect. That's what parents are for. What about you, Peter? Have you been out and about recently?
I have been out and about crawling through the mud for some for an obstacle course that I just did yesterday, which I finished, even though it was like 30 degrees out.
So you're on the verge of falling asleep, are you, at the moment? After
I am very tired. Yes.
Very good. Oh well, was a good time had by all, though. That's the thing. Despite
Indeed.
being electrocuted and
absolutely, I managed to avoid electrocution actually.
Because I wear rubber shoes.
I stayed really low and didn't hit any of the wires.
That's good. That's very sensible. Yeah, good stuff. And okay, Ben, have you been anywhere recently? What have you been up to?
I did, and I got electrocuted. But that's
what?
Enough about my personal life. No, the UKGE, obviously.
Yes. So UK Games Expo. What is it for people who don't know?
It's a United Kingdom Game Expo.
Yeah.
So, big board game.
That really explains it.
Big board game convention in Birmingham normally the first weekend of June every year.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest event in the board gaming calendar in the UK.
For sure.
One of the biggest in the world, actually. There's lots of board games, obviously, lots of miniature games, actually, and RPG games this year. So, good mix of everything. And obviously, the Dice Masters traditional MOD PDM, as it's become. It's a big Dice Master event.
So you're right. I mean, it is the UK Games Expo is, I think, by far the biggest individual games expo. Well, it probably is second in Europe, probably only to Essen itself, isn't it? I should imagine. I think that did I see there was something like 32,000 unique visitors over the course of the 3 days?
Yeah, I think there was 32,000 uniques and then 52,000 entries.
Yeah,
and it certainly felt heaving on the Saturday in particular. One of the benefits of doing the Dice Master tournament on the Saturday is that you can avoid those big queues.
Oh yeah, that's cool. So they have. I mean, not only do they have a massive expo of traders and stuff, they also have loads of tournaments and stuff going on of all sorts. I mean, I know that I wasn't there this year, but I know that they've had in previous years, they've had, I don't know, the Ticket to Ride World Championship or, all these kind of things. Or not maybe not the World Championship, but maybe like a qualifier so you could win
they had WizKids Onslaught, their new game, which is replacing Dice Masters at Worlds this year. So that was around.
Ouch. That's a bit close to home.
Yeah. Lots of, loads of stuff. Yeah, the One Piece card game don't know anything about that, but yeah, loads of the Crokinole was interesting. The Crokinole Championships, yeah,
really,
about 15 different big Crokinole boards and people playing that, which is like a flipping game,
pushing
big wooden
little discs around a thing.
Yeah, big wooden poster-sized board, circular, and you flick discs into the middle.
Blimey. Dexterity games at the UK Games Expo. Whatever next?
Mm-hmm.
There'll be basketball tournaments soon. It's physical skill is not normally associated with gamers, as we see.
They'd have Giant King of Tokyo, so the dice were the size of a football when you played that.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool. Yeah. And there literally is something for everyone in the gaming front. I mean, you mentioned tabletop gaming, but they do a lot of that, like for real serious sort of.
I think even more so than normal. Normally it's board game focused.
Yeah.
But this year had a lot of the RPGs, minis, and TCGs seemingly everywhere as well.
Yeah.
Because Disney Lorcana, which is the new CCG coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Or is it? Because they're being sued.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Is this the one that's being sued by Upper Deck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nonsense. But yeah.
That's going to get messy.
Maybe.
I mean, I'd say that Disney have probably got slightly deeper pockets.
Yeah.
Maybe their lawyers might be a bit more expensive. But we will see. Good stuff. So, so Saturday you got to hunker down with the other Dice Masters players for a Ministry of Dice run tournament. They've been running them quite regularly, haven't they, when they've been able to at the UK Games Expo. There was a time when the UK Dice Masters National Championship was held at the UK Games Expo, but as we don't really have an official one these days, the Ministry of Dice have sort of taken up the mantle and they've been running their own tournament there, haven't they, in recent years? And you got to go. Ben, tell us what happened, what the format was, and how it all worked.
Yep. So, big shout out to Chris Williams, the True Mr. Six, who ran the event for the Ministry of Dice. They're doing the Lockdown Modern, which is basically everything from the campaign boxes onwards. So, as if they hadn't done the last rotation. And there was a few bands of some like the bigger cards, Master Mold or Godcatcher, Becky, and Sinister, I think, were the main ones. So it led to a little bit of a wider field. And yeah, it was a good event. A lot of people there's a lot of different things. I managed to win the tournament, which was very nice. The thing they didn't ban, which is surprising me, was the Jerry Lawler Global, which doubles the Overcrush.
Oh, yes.
So I went with that, with the Rare Bizarro. So, you put a Rare Bizarro in your bag as early as possible and then just keep hitting them with Jerry Lawler.
He's the one that's got Overcrush and you can just buy him basically for free whenever you want.
Yeah.
But your opponent also gets to put something in their bag.
Yes. So my first game, I did that very effectively against Martin. I just managed to sneak in with the Bizarro. He didn't really know what to buy as his first thing. I think he bought a rare Spider-Man, put it in his bag, so I'll take that all day.
Yes, that's a good trade.
Yeah, managed to hit him fairly hard. And then I also had the Hope copying Colossus Piotr with 12 damage as kind of. So the idea was hit as hard as you can with Bizarro, and then just leave Hope in the field to do the last few chips of damage.
Oh, nice, yeah.
So Colossus does 2 damage for every character level 2 or 3 in the field zone. And Hope copies Colossus, basically. Hope copies any X-Men.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that came in useful because there was quite a few distractions and a wallop going around. So there's a few times I basically had to, instead of going for Bizarro, I had to go for Hope and buy Colossus at the same time to have both of them out.
Oh.
If they're both out, for every level 2 and 3 character, you do 4 damage. So that racks up pretty quick.
Yeah, that doesn't take long, does it? And obviously you had a splash of Danny Moonstar in there, no doubt.
Danny Moonstar removal, yeah, that came in handy against, I think, Rob, which was my second or third game. I can't remember exactly. But Rob had the super rare Jane Foster.
Oh,
which
right, yes.
Which stops 2 damage. which is obviously very good. He also had static field, so my Bizarro was also locked down.
Yeah, nasty.
So he got both of those out, and he also had Typhoid Mary.
Oh, my days.
But luckily, I used my Hope Summers to copy Storm, the 7-cost Storm, which basically does a whole bunch of re-rolling. So with the Hope and Danny Moonstar, basically, I managed to keep his... It was difficult for him because he could basically... Well, he could stop my controlling pieces, but then he couldn't win the game either. And I'll come to his win condition in a minute. But basically, Black Widow stopped his win condition. Having both the Hope Summers copying Storm and the Danny Moonstar to re-roll out was very useful in that game.
Yes.
But the interesting thing that I think that a couple of people had, so Rob definitely had this, and Danny also had it, which was and I think someone else, one of the kids had it, which is the Batman kind of infinite win. You know this thing?
Go on. Explain it to us.
Okay, so Rare Batman, when a character dice you control is KO'd, you can deal 1 damage to your opponent and 1 damage to a target character die.
Yeah.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. So if you can get that out in the field with the 2 Orc boys, the little boys.
Oh, yes.
Orc Boy Shooter and Orc Knob Big Chopper. Basically, when Orc Boy is KO'd, if there's another, what they're called, Orc in the field, he comes back at level 1.
Yeah.
So you can basically kill Orc Boy, triggering Batman, which deals 1 damage to you.
Yeah.
Orc Boy comes back, and then you do Batman's 1 damage to Orc Boy at level 1, which then KOs it, which means you can do it again, which means it comes back again, which means you ping again, which means it comes back again, which means it pings again, which is not an infinite loop.
Nick would be proud.
Yes, exactly. It's not an infinite loop because you can theoretically target something that isn't Orc Boy. So,
I see, yeah.
Yes, it's very, very... Basically, if they get those 3 pieces in the field, they win. And
they win. Yeah.
Buying 2 costs and a 5 cost is not particularly hard.
No.
Especially when I was giving them Becky Lynch Global and Atlantis. And, was pretty difficult. Apart from I had Black Widow, which is Black Widow Agent, which stops the 1 ping of damage.
Oh, yes.
So that made Batman completely irrelevant. So he had to balance stopping Black Widow or stopping Hope or stopping Danny. It just became too many things.
Yeah.
For Rob. I played Danny as well, which is a good game. I managed to basically just rush him. He also had that Batman combo with some other pingy stuff, and Black Widow really hurt him.
How many players were there? And
10.
10, nice. And what other sort of teams did you see? Was there a good range of other things that were being played in terms of win cons that are being deployed?
Yeah, so there was a few. I mean, the main things were pingy stuff. So that Batman was on a few teams. There was I also played Stu actually, who had the Poison Ivy. Yeah, he also provided some very nice sleeves as a win condition as the win tournament for everyone. Sorry, every participant.
Oh, nice!
Wow, they're very nice. They're cool. Sleepy Doctor Strange.
Right, yeah.
Let's post some pictures somewhere. Yeah, they were very nice, and he had Osaka. How do you say it?
Oscar.
That's how you say it.
It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while. She used to be the answer to every question.
Oscar with the Poison Ivy and Invisible Woman.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Invisible Woman. Interesting. Yeah, so she gets the discount. Yeah. Exactly. Invisible Woman's getting the Oscar discount.
Yeah, and then Poison Ivy to clear your field.
Yeah. Pretty cool. That's good. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I do like that new Invisible Woman super rare.
It's very strong, yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. You mentioned Danny, friend of the podcast as well, isn't he? It's good to catch up with him, no doubt.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, it's always a pleasure to play at the tournaments at UKGE. Everyone's very friendly. It's good. We did a draft afterwards as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I got battered in that by Flint, I think. So, yes.
Very good. Excellent. So a good Dice Masters time was had by all, it seems. Well done to everyone who took part in that, and well done to the guys over at the Ministry of Dice for running that event and keeping the flag flying for in-person Dice Masters in the UK, because tournaments these days are kind of few and far between. So that was cool. And then in terms of other stuff that you did at the UK Games Expo, I mean, it'd be interesting just to hear. I mean, we're all gamers here. We like to hear about other stuff that's been happening in the wider board gaming world. What other stuff sort of caught your eye over the course of the weekend that would be interesting for us?
Yeah, so I played, obviously demoed. One of the good things about going to a convention like this is you can demo a bunch of games. And also there's loads of space to play after the halls close. So did lots of gaming in terms of that. Like I said, a little bit was that there was lots of RPGs happening, lots of mini games, but there are still some decent board games. I want to bring up two probably. So my favorite game, the one we bought probably, is After Us, which is a deck building game.
Yeah, always like that.
Yeah, so it's a small deck, so you kind of have to churn through it in various ways. And it's very so basically you're building bands of monkeys or primates, I suppose, after the apocalypse. Yeah, it's kind of cool because the apes use technology that they found, which human technology is left behind.
Typewriters.
Boombox.
They get any typewriters?
Did they produce Shakespeare?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, obviously, boomboxes let you discard a card to draw another card.
Obviously.
Clearly. That's what boomboxes
do. As expected.
Yeah. So anyway, you start with a bunch of tamarins, I think.
Oh, right, yeah.
And they have basically
Nova.
On the cards, you have basically 3 rows of actions. And what you do is you get 4 cards and you have to line them up in a particular way. And you can change how they line up, obviously. And it's quite puzzly. But basically, you're making connections between cards. Yeah. And as cards connect, you complete little boxes, which mean that box is going to trigger that round. And you run through left to right, top to bottom, triggering all the bunch abilities. And it feels a bit like a very satisfying Euro game where you collect a bunch of resources, spend them on victory points, spend them on other various powers, depending on the type of monkey it is. Or primates, gorillas give you rage, which lets you cull your deck. Orangutans give you batteries, which let you do some of these or alternative power things.
And monkeys give you the work of Shakespeare.
Chimpanzees let you copy abilities, including the works of Shakespeare's.
Yeah.
And then, basically you buy new cards into your deck, you could turn around. Basically, it's really nice because it's all simultaneously resolved, so it goes really quickly. It takes half an hour for 2 people to play. It goes up to 6, probably wouldn't take that much longer.
Yeah.
And it's really nice artwork. And just if you like that thing where you collect a bunch of stuff, spend it. It's perfect for you. And it's a race to 80 points, and it's very close games. I think I played that 8 times since UKGE.
Oh, wow.
How good it is.
It sounds a bit reminiscent of Earth, which is one of the new sort of hot games, isn't it, in terms of the tableau side of it? That one of the things.
Except your tableau is you kind of build it straight away and then discard it, so then you draw new cards into your tableau.
Oh, I see. So it's always changing.
Yeah, it's always changing. So your deck is your tableau, effectively.
Yeah.
But it changes quite quickly. But it is that kind of speed, I guess, if you've played Earth.
Yes. So it sounds more of a pure deck builder than something like Ark Nova or Great Western. Well, Ark Nova's not a deck builder, but Great Western Trail or that sort of thing.
It's really simple to play. It's simple to play, but obviously there's lots of interesting decisions. Because it's a race to 80 points, so every point you can get is valuable. But should you spend your resources on the points, or should you save them up to buy a different card? It's a simple deck builder, really. Second game probably talk about is Challenges, which is a bit of a surprise game for us. I actually convinced several people at the MOD PDM to buy a copy, I think.
Did you?
Yeah. So Challenges is really kind of a stupid game. But it's nominated for the Spiel des Jahres, so that's some credit to it. It's the game War. If you ever played the game War, where basically you get a deck of cards, you flip over a card. Is your card higher than the other person's?
Right.
That's basically the game.
Complex.
Yeah.
Sounds like Bruce Forsyth's Play Your Card Right.
So you flip over a card. Is your number higher than the opponent's number?
Higher or low?
Yeah. That's basically the game. I've taught you basically 50% of the rules, except you have a deck of cards, your opponent has a deck of cards, And then at the start of each round, you get a hand of 5 cards. You can choose one of those cards to add into your deck.
Right.
Or 2 of those cards to add into your deck. And you replace them with other cards in your deck.
Right.
You play a round. Whoever wins gets some points. Then you change partners. So it's a little bit like you're playing a CCG against an opponent and you change each round who you're playing against. And then each round your deck gets better and better and more different from everyone else because you're adding these cards in.
Yes.
And the cards are like typed, so you might add... so I had a bunch of anchor cards which all work together. They're all seaman themed. They're all, so like there was a mermaid and there was...
Let's not go there, James.
I said it. So all storm/weather based, merchants of the sea, I guess.
Yes.
So
salty dogs.
Yes. So anyway, I was adding those up, and they were all meant to work together. And it's really fast. The actual game you play against your opponent takes like 2 minutes. You flip over cards.
Oh.
But then you do this like 6 or 7 times.
Did the end of the game come a bit too early then?
Well, I lost every round, so yeah, pretty bad. But it was really fun. It was just a really good family game. Really simple rules, but it gave me a feel of a bit like a CCG, playing in a CCG tournament, especially for like maybe parents trying to convince their younger kids to get into something like Dice Masters, which is more complex. Playing a couple of hands of this, getting that kind of buzz of like, "Ooh, my deck's slightly different and working this time. Oh, what do I need to change for next time? Let me change some cards in." Okay, and it's not complicated. It's very simple. And there's dumb cards like the rubber duck is one of the most the strongest card in the game.
Right.
You can play rubber duck versus T-Rex, and it's stupid. Like I said. But very simple, gives you that kind of popcorny feeling of a CCG, like improving your deck without having to do a bunch of stuff we like doing, which is spending time building your 10 cards or whatever it is.
Yeah. Oh, sounds cool. So that's Challenges.
Nominated for Spiel des Jahres, so yeah.
Look out for more hype around that one. Oh, that's good. Well, and did you kind of take part in any of the sort of big events that were taking place? I know that they've had things like that dark room thing, haven't they?
Yeah, they have in the past. Dark room's very good if you haven't seen it. I've just seen it like 5 times. So you only see a comedy show so many times, I suppose. We did a Just One event.
Oh, yeah.
And we played the game Just One, where everyone has like a clue and then flipped over.
Yeah.
We did that. So like a live event of that.
Oh, that's
cool.
cool.
You get to go up on stage and write a clue.
Oh, really? Did you do one?
I did. My clue got cancelled out.
Oh.
Well, I'll give you the words and see if you can get what the thing was. Okay?
Go on.
So it was toy, soft, and shoot were the words that were left, and me and another person got cancelled out.
Toy, soft, shoot, James.
I don't even know what this game is.
All those words give you a clue to a word, a thing.
So shoot as in a gun or shoot as in a cold?
SHOT, yeah. Or SHOOT. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
No, still don't know.
Nerf guns.
So yeah, my clue was dash herder.
Wow. That's
Nerf herder.
Nerf herder. Yeah, which is a Star Wars reference.
It is a Star Wars reference, yeah. But wow.
But Nerf guns, yeah.
Scruffy one.
Yeah.
Scruffy looking, yeah.
Who's scruffy looking?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, that was pretty obscure.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, that is good. Ben, thank you for reporting back. And you sort of got what may be a slightly unusual feeling of winning a tournament again, eh?
I know. I haven't won for ages, so it was good to get back on the bandwagon before Gen Con.
Did you get any nice prizes?
Got a Magneto, Scotty Young.
Oh,
Magneto.
nice.
Oh, Ben, Peter will be very jealous.
I know. I am. Yeah. Peter can trade me it for something else. If you'd like. Some other cards, a Gobby. So if anyone needs a spare Gobby, I have one.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the main thing, really, the biggest benefit was being able to trade a bunch of stuff with people in person.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And help complete my collection. So I only like 5 or 6 cards now. I need 1 card from Kryptonite Crisis, and then a few super rares from Secret Wars.
And the master set will be complete.
Yeah. The master set will be complete, yeah. So thank you to everyone who traded with me.
Very good, very good. Yeah, and it sounds like it was a really good event. Well, thank you, Ben, for reporting back from the UK Games Expo. Our intrepid reporter, Ben Said Scott, out on the road, going where only the bravest fear to tread. Thanks, Ben. Shall we move on to the next segment? All right, well, we've talked about some in-person Dice Masters action, and now we've got some online Dice Masters stuff to talk about in the form of Dice Fight XL. Probably, well, if you listen to this podcast even once, you would have heard us talk about Dice Fight, the regular Thursday night if you're in Europe or hereabouts, online tournament that takes place. But we've had the occasional Dice Fight XL when we take it to a Saturday and have a slightly longer format, the chance to play few more games other than 3 as it is on a Thursday night. And James, I hear that big news has been announced on the on the Dice Fight XL front. What is happening?
We're having a Dice Fight XL, Spug.
Yeah!
It's a summer thing. We've had one every summer, actually, this is the 4th one, I think.
Yeah. Dice Fight XL 1V, is it?
Yeah, I've thought about playing with that. Yes, so every summer, as you say, it's just a bigger version of the Thursday night tournaments where we can stretch our legs a little bit. The format is basically modern, whatever modern is at that time, and it's usually timed such that it happens after a set has been released and maybe that set has not quite hit the UK or Europe yet, so we end up proxies are absolutely fine, and we test out the new nasty modern competitive meta ahead in this case, and I think it was the case last year also, ahead of Worlds.
Oh yes,
American Nats. So it's time to get your competitive trousers on. And obviously last time it was, I think, Superman Kryptonite Crisis had just come out, maybe, I'm guessing, and maybe the time before that it was that we were sort of proxying for Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, because I think it was Bardi. It was Bardi Allen time, wasn't it?
There you go. Yeah,
Turbo Barry.
Yeah. And this time it's Secret Wars. So let's see what Secret Wars brings to the mix. One thing to point out is that whatever WizKids decide in their infinite wisdom will be modern. That's what we'll be playing. I think the assumption at the moment is that it'll be the 4 sets, Infinity Gauntlet onwards, with no bans whatsoever, apart from any that WizKids have imposed, which is currently none, I guess. Mm-hmm. But if they decide to do some kind of rotation in June, then we will follow that for the tournament. If they decide to ban Master Mold, then we will follow that for the tournament. So there's a little bit of an unknown there, but apart from that, it's very straightforward. It's just modern.
How do people enter?
Well, currently, we've just announced the date and put a sort of save the date poster up. Poster?
You've been around the school and you've put your posters.
Yeah, something like that. But in the end, sometime in the next week or so, I'll be setting up a challenge event, and I'll be making, basically making a duplicate of the page on our website, which is for last year's Dice Fight XL event. We're going to basically keep everything the same. That will act as our template because everything last year went pretty smoothly. So there'll be a challenge thing where you'll be able to sign up for it shortly.
The number of rounds will depend on the number of players, presumably. It's just going to be straight Swiss, I assume.
Exactly. So that's right. I don't know what are the numbers for. It'll be between 3 and 5, depending on the number of players. I guess 3 and 5 rounds.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. And just to stress, this is an online only tournament, so you need access to the Dice Fight Discord server, I assume, which is where it's going to be run, and then
it's
just
Dice Masters online Discord server within which the Dice Fight. Well, currently we have hashtag Dice Fight. What is it called? Thread? It's not a thread. I always forget.
Channel.
Whatever. Channel. There you go. We might. I think we probably would have a. I don't know. We'll see. Either we'll use the hashtag Dice Fight, or we'll have a dedicated hashtag Dice Fight XL, which we have had in the past. But either way, that's what we'll use for communication, and we'll use Challonge for the pairings and stuff.
So you'll just need some sort of digital device to look at your opponent's screen, and then some sort of camera to show your opponent what you're doing, and you can basically play, can't you? Really, you don't need any high tech equipment.
That's how I play. That is my Dice Masters life. That's how all the videos get made. I don't play face to face, and I haven't played face to face for many a year.
Since Bratislava 2019, James. Do you remember Bratislava?
There you go.
Yeah.
And I have no intention of returning to the real world.
Oh, don't say such things. Okay, are there any prizes?
Well, normally no. Because I hate posting stuff.
You have to leave the house, don't you, to do that?
Oh, I just hate posting stuff. I really don't like them. But last year, Danny and Rick sorted out a lovely mat, which I believe they sent to the winner. And so I think we will have something this year. It's yet to be decided and yet to be announced, but I think between us we have some spare stuff which might make quite a nice prize. I don't know if there will be multiple prizes, perhaps. We will see. Yes. But I think there will be prizes, but there will not be any entrance fee because that's balls. Entrance fees.
That was going to be my next question. So it's totally free. Anybody can take part. Very good. Now, in terms of when it starts, what are you thinking at the moment? Do you know what sort of approximately when it will kick off?
Well, it's Saturday, and so last year we started at 5 p.m. Slovak time, which is Central European time, which I guess is 4 p.m. UK time. Yes. And that seemed to work quite well. It was scheduled for 3 hours, and I think it ran reasonably to schedule, but I guess 3 to 4 hours we would be done.
Did we say the date?
15th of July, I'll say.
15th of July, yes, very good. 15th of July. Very important.
Which is... and I think that works out okay for US people because people on the West Coast and mountainous areas will get to start at a sort of reasonable time in the morning. What is it, 8 hours difference, I think? And then they'll be sort of done by lunchtime and they'll have the rest of the day free to them. And people in Europe and the UK will have a sort of early evening thing going on and they'll be able to finish. And people in Australia, I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry. You always get
yet again. But and in terms of the sort of timings of the games and stuff, do you know how that's going to work in as regards to how long the rounds will be and how any sort of ties or unfinished games will be determined?
As ever with Dice Fight, it'll be 35 minutes with no turns. If the game goes to time, the winner will be the one with highest life. And equal life at time means a tie.
Look at that. So you're just done and you're over and it's out. So no hanging around waiting for other games to finish. In theory, good stuff. So that's good. So I guess build your team with those constraints accordingly. If you want to, if you want to compete,
don't drag it out.
No,
don't do
so what you're saying is you should run Master Mold.
I think if you want to run Master Mold, I personally don't, but if you want to do that, then it might be a good idea to build 2 teams just in case that gets the ban hammer. You never know. Not by me, but by WizKids.
WizKids have not had much of it. I mean, they've had a general reluctance, haven't they, to ban stuff generally?
I don't think they've banned it before Gen Con.
No, I don't think they will, but you never know.
Because when is Gen Con, Ben? You're going to be there. What's the date of it?
First weekend of August.
Less than 2 months away now.
Yeah.
So
is that when it is? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is your prep. This is your prep for that.
So bring, as you said, James, your big competitive pants for some hardcore, full-on red action.
Indeed. Hardcore but friendly. I think it'd be good.
Yeah, so it normally is.
Do we think there is anything that can beat Master Mode then?
This is the big question.
Worth trying for sure. I reckon.
I think it'd be very interesting to see what people play, actually, because, Ben, to answer your question, there will be a certain number of people who just won't want to play Master Mode for reasons of pride is one word, or just wanting to play something different.
Not being a jerk,
Yeah. But then,
to be clear, you don't have to have the cards that you play.
No, that's true. Yeah.
And this is a reason. I mean, this is perhaps controversial in some circles, but we won't ask WizKids for support because we are, quite open about allowing proxies, because we think that, or I think we think that this, people should be able to test out whatever they want without, being restricted to having to have this super rare or whatever.
But if you don't have Master Mode, then you won't be able to do it at Gen Con. So if people are preparing for that, then there would be no point in that.
Yeah, fair point. And in terms of, James, if you want to proxy dice, there is a handy little website, isn't there, that you can use to find dice with equivalent stats.
Dice.
Yeah.
It's called Proxy Dice, and it was developed by Petr Ježík from Slovakia. And it's actually embedded on our website, but it also is, I'm pretty sure it still exists as a standalone website.
Yeah. Ben, can you answer your own question? Can anything beat Master Mode?
Things can stop Master Mode. I think one of the reasons it won't get banned is because Secret Wars has a bunch of tech that theoretically hampers and allows control pieces to stop Master Mode for sure. I recently played a game where a combination of Distraction and Wonder Woman is very hard to do anything about, especially if they have a way of removing tokens.
Yeah.
Like the Spider-Gwen.
Yeah.
So that Spider-Gwen Distraction is a very good combo for slowing Master Mode down and removing tokens. The Wonder Woman sees more play. The control pieces in general, like Drax, could see more play just because one of the good things about Master Mode previously was you could just force whatever your problem pieces were to attack you.
Yes.
And just get them off the board that way. That's not so much the case anymore because Distraction helps you keep stuff from being force attacked.
Yeah, without doubt.
The Force Block Global is also very useful, I think, it seems to me like I was very wrong about the Molecule Man, in that people will use that uncommon, the free fielding one, on Master Mode teams because Shield
Deadly one.
Global, and because it has Deadly, right? So you can just force a bunch of tokens to block, attack with that one thing, all tokens go away. So there is some stuff. I think the Invisible Woman could also be a fast, powerful win condition. Especially if you can back it up with some of those control pieces.
As fast as Barry Allen?
Yeah, for sure. I think probably replaces Barry Allen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Check out the videos.
Yeah, I mean, it really can. Because you can buy 6 costs is so much easier to buy than 7 costs. It doesn't seem like it should be, but it is.
Yeah, no, it's definitely true.
And then I think maybe the anti-monitor could be an interesting way of dealing with the tokens the Master Mode provides, while also giving enough of a threat to also be a rush team.
The Master Mode that KOs, that's the anti-monitor that KOs stuff, and then your opponent has to KO stuff.
Yeah, you can KO as many of your things as possible to KO your opponent's stuff.
Yeah, pretty good removal.
Especially because Mr. Sinister Global is so powerful, right? If you can just basically keep your bag thin, keep Mr. Sinister in Global to make sidekicks with the anti-monitor, you can have a bunch of characters that can KO their tokens.
Yeah,
so I think there is stuff. I think it will be interesting to see. I don't know if Control has a good enough. I think Wonder Woman is a very powerful tool, but it's also a 6 cost. So if you're going to do that, the control pieces need a win condition. Colossus might do that. The Super Rare Thor might do that, but they're also 6 costs. So that's difficult.
But I mean, Super Rare. What does Super Rare Wonder Woman not stop? Because she stops when attacks, when fielded,
when KO'd,
intimidate,
and also energize, and any keyworded ability.
Good grief!
It doesn't stop force attacking her.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop force blocking her.
No. There are ways to deal with her. But she's a tricky one.
Tricky. Well, I found another really good combo was Wonder Woman with the Thing, where your opponent can't target stuff apart from the Thing.
Oh yeah.
That one's very annoying because you have.
He's a 6 cost though, isn't he?
I think he's a 5 cost actually.
5,
He might be
okay.
a 6 cost. He might be a 6 cost. Let me get up his actual text.
Expensive times.
But he's really good because he's very annoying because you can't do anything to Wonder Woman then. Because
until you get rid of the Thing.
Yeah. And you can't get rid of the Thing.
Yeah. Yeah, very
you can't get rid of the Thing at the same turn you get rid of Wonder Woman, which is very annoying.
Yeah.
Okay, a 5 cost fist, while Thing is active, your opponent can't target your other character dice. He is surprisingly annoying. I thought it would be easy so you can just kill him and then kill whatever else. But not if you don't have it when fielded.
No, that's right, yeah. Yeah, he's difficult to remove. But that's an expensive combo to set up.
Yeah.
You're looking at a combined cost of 11 there.
I think if Hope Summers was around as well, then you could copy Colossus easier. I don't know, or maybe the Jubilee, which does just the pingy one for each body field. That's very slow.
Yeah, one is... It takes a while, doesn't it, to do anything when you're just doing one damage. Yeah, good stuff. All right, Peter, what are you thinking will be good in Dice Fight XL?
Yeah, the usual stuff. Yeah. Well, we'll have to see. There's more stuff to stop Master Mold, but it's still gonna be very strong, I think. I think yeah, Barry's probably dead and buried at this point.
Rip.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about that. It can get massive, but
yeah, true. But it's still
everything deals with Master Mode also sort of deals with Barry.
Yeah,
and more other things deal with Barry.
Yeah.
So
Barry's more expensive.
There's more obstacles for Barry now, so he's gonna trip.
He was fun while he lasted, though, wasn't he?
For sure.
Let's face it. Good stuff. And James, you're going to be going full on competitive, hardcore teams, aren't you?
No, he's going to play Cosmic Cube.
Mighty Thor and Cosmic Cube.
Mighty Thor, as in...
no, just Thor.
Just Thor, yeah, okay.
Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, no, I think he's still good. He's still good. And with he's Distraction.
Yeah.
Distraction and Namor.
Ken in the mix.
Instant
Maybe
War
a
on
bit
legs.
Super rare Harley.
Oh, yeah. Now you're talking, James. Now you're talking. Good stuff. All right, so that is Dice Fight XL. Do get involved. It's one to put in your diary. Clear the decks for a Saturday afternoon or a Saturday morning, even if you're on the other side of the USA. It'll be an early start for you, potentially, but it should be a really great time playing some Dice Masters and testing out some things before the big dance in August at Gen Con. So do get involved. We'll put a link, obviously, in the show notes to the challenge. And, James, the Dice Fight channel, well, you just need to join as you said, the Dice Masters Discord channel in order to get access.
There'll be an invite in the show notes as usual. Yeah. But yes, Dice Masters Online is the Discord server. And can I just say that I just checked, and the proxydice.com, which is the actual page, has been updated miraculously for Secret Wars, because I typed in Invisible Woman not thinking that it would be there, and it is.
Super.
It is. Well done, Katayoshi.
Very good. The little hedgehog has come good again. Well done, him. Good stuff. All right. Well, shall we move on to a bit of AOB? Okay. Well, we've been talking about Dice Fight XL. We should probably just round up what's happening on the usual Dice Fight front over the next couple of weeks. Will the episode make it out before Dice Fight on the 15th of June? We will see. It might not. What's going on, James?
It says here, single set orange. Although, I'm going to double check that because I feel like I saw something. Oh no, single set modern orange ban list. Yeah, there you go then. So that's Thursday, which we might just scrape releasing this before. 22nd of June is Weenies. which I think his character's I suspect, costing 3 and less. That's more
or people with very short legs. Scottish people with short legs.
Yes. And June the 29th is 200, and I have literally no idea what that is. I probably should have checked. Come on, I checked about Dice Fight XL, and I forgot to ask about actual Dice Fight.
I would say you had one job, but you did actually have 2 jobs.
Is it maybe the 200?
Oh, is it show 200? It's Dice Fight 200. That's what it'll be. But what the format is?
I mean, that would be my guess. It has been going for. Well, it probably has been going for nearly 4 years now, hasn't it? So that would sound about right to me.
Yes.
Wow.
200. Well, we'll leave that as a mystery for now, but keep an eye out for that.
Excellent. All right. Well, that's Thursday night. That's your Thursday nights sorted if you're in the EU or hereabouts. Online tournament. We've banged on about it already. Link in the show notes if you want to find out more. James, I don't want to come back to you again, but we should mention a ruling, shouldn't we? So we are coming back to you because you're our man on the rulings front, because there is something that's relevant to.
Peter was rulings, man.
Well, okay, whichever one, you can fight it out between yourselves. But can one of you tell us about the Stormbreaker Ray global thing that's just come out, because it is relevant to a video that we put up on our website?
Go on, Peter.
It's your video.
Well, okay. I'll explain the context, and you can explain the ruling if you like. So Ben and I were playing, and I can't remember what I was playing, but Ben was doing the Stormbreaker Ray Global.
You were playing something
which says pay 3 if you've had something spun down that turn, or if one of your dice has been spun down that turn. Pay 3, and then you can roll a die from your use pile. Right? That's how it goes.
Yeah.
And the question was, if it rolls to a character, obviously you get to field it, and I think it might even say field it at no cost, maybe. So like don the helm or something. But the question arose because it doesn't specify what you do with it if it rolls to energy, and thought it only reasonable, and I agreed that he should keep the energy in his reserve pool, because paying 3 and fulfilling the condition of having something spun down. It's quite a lot to go through just to lose it to the use pile again. But we queried the rules forum. Well, actually, I didn't. I wrote it on Discord and let somebody else query the rules for me because I'm lazy. Sorry. And after a lot of beating around the bush, the rules forum produced a lot of stuff which didn't make much sense to me, but in the end, and they came out with it pretty quickly, to be fair, but it didn't make much sense, so there's not much use being
there's a lot of additional stuff beyond the ruling that we needed.
Yes. There was a lot of stuff there, but in the end they came good, and they came good pretty rapidly in the end, and it was all reasonably clear, and it basically, the upshot of this ruling is that you get to keep the energy. I think if you want, let you read.
Too long didn't read. You can keep the energy.
Yeah. It was all about whether something is a check roll or not a check roll, and if that's piqued your interest, then go and check out the ruling. And if it's not, move on.
That's definitely a useful bit. It was definitely a useful bit of guidance in general, because we have had that kind of ability for a while where it's like you're checking something rather than doing something with that dice. Whereas it was kind of half and half, wasn't it? That was the problem.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And if you want to know any more, please send an email to peter@dmunited.eu.
Anyway, that global theoretically isn't too bad. It didn't really work in the game we played. It could have worked pretty well.
You failed to roll.
I know, I'm terrible at rolling everything. I know.
It was awful.
But it could be really powerful, actually, because especially since you get the energy anyway, it's kind of worth risking that 1 energy in the hopes you get that roll. I don't know. It's interesting. Interesting.
It's good stuff.
We're trying to think how to do it off turn as well, because it's if your opponent is also spinning your stuff down, you can do it presumably.
Yeah.
In fact, they said that you can do it on their turn, which is pretty cool. But you can't really force your opponent to fulfill the spinning down.
But there is a lot of abilities to do spin down.
Yeah, there are.
Too right. So. Yeah. A lot. All right. Well, I mean, that came about because because James, you've been busily filming and putting up videos of all sorts of modern bits of play on our YouTube channel, haven't you? People should...
Filming makes it sound like I've been on location, which is very far from the truth. Yes, I made a bunch of videos.
Yes.
I've been quite busy with Jason and with Ben, and also on my Todd doing the top 5. So I've done the top 5s, Secret Wars, commons, uncommons and rares, and I've prepared the ground for the super rares, so hopefully that'll be coming soon. I played a couple of games with Ben, which was good, but one of them was somewhat marred by my wife repeatedly printing things really loudly. So that will never see the light of day. But and then a bunch with Jason, and I've been playing increasingly competitive teams. I've sort of got out of my Secret Wars testing things out and moved into designing horrible red teams, and poor Jason's been on the receiving end of it. I'm sorry, Jason.
He's just trying to come up with some cool combos, and you're just stomping him with master molds left, right, and centre.
No, with anything but master mold. I don't. To be fair, I haven't played master mold yet, but there's been quite a lot of Thor.
You draw the line somewhere, don't you, James? You draw the line somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
good stuff.
Loads of interesting stuff.
All right, well, check those out on our YouTube channel. Again, you don't have to go very far beyond our website. In fact, you can just go to our website and you can find it just right there. And do sign up and become a subscriber, because the numbers are growing, and then you get a notification when a new video drops. All right, well, I think that's everything from this particular episode. Are you planning to take part in Dice Fight XL? Do put the date in the diary, July the 15th. Did you go to UK Games Expo? Did you play Ben or anybody else at Dice Masters over the course of those few days? Then do let us know by sending us a message to James.
hello@dmunited.eu.
Indeed, and your message might get read out in a future episode of the show. That's all we got time for in this particular episode of DM United. It's been really good to have you with us. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, rate, and review our podcast using your favourite app, and don't forget to subscribe so you can be the first to know about a new episode when it drops. We will see you again next time. Goodbye.
Ta-da, love.
Bye.
Bye-bye.